Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the new roadmap that World of Warcraft just released. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the holiday refresh. I believe it was called a revamp previously, maybe. We're going to be talking about this specifically. There's a lot of other really cool things on here, though, of course, and maybe we'll get into those in some other videos. But I always talk about refreshing or redoing these holidays, and so I thought I'd make a video talking about this a little bit. Good and bad takeaways here. So it says Brewfest and Hallows End specifically. So these are two that I called for and I thought could be on the horizon. These are two very large holidays. And these are two that they are going to do apparently. I don't know if these are the only two, and that could be the negative side. But these are two very, very large holidays. If we go in game here and you go to calendar, I believe it's in October. When is it October when Brewfest starts? I can't even find Brewfest on the thing. Hallows End starts here. Where is Brewfest? Is it in September? I'm not sure. Okay, Brewfest. Brewfest begins. Okay. So yeah, end of September, and then of course, Hallows End, the end of October. These are two of the bigger holidays that last for a good amount of time. There's lots of stuff to do in these holidays, so these getting a revamp could be quite big as far as it could be a lot of new stuff to do. Brewfest ends here in October, I see now. So they're each like a couple week long event, and they're actually really cool. I actually went back and did Brewfest. They have updated these things very slightly over the years, right? And I went back and I did Brewfest a couple years ago now, and I made a video on it and how to do everything there. And I'm in that video I talked about how this holiday definitely needs redone. There's so much opportunity here, especially to make some of those things on Brewfest like into games that are similar more to the Dark Moon Fair, for example. There's a lot of opportunity there with things to do, and I think also with these new events that World of Warcraft's doing everywhere, right? Like here's a public event, here's an event. I think it allows for that to be pretty cool too. With Brewfest and with Hallows End. With Hallows End, you have the Headless Horseman. That could be an event that you go to a place. Maybe each event is very slightly different. I say very slightly because they're not going to be, completely separate encounters probably, but maybe they will. And these are two holidays that I really thought. Now, I was hoping we would get more. Maybe some of these micro holidays as well could be updated because some of the micro holidays have potential. And yet there isn't much to do on them. And I also, secretly hope that the Christmas event might be included in this too. That's not to say that it can't happen down the road. 10.2, for example, should come out, and maybe they will have time to throw something in there for Christmas. I wouldn't count on that. But I was definitely hoping for maybe a little bit more. But these are two of the bigger holidays, and two of the ones that I think have a lot of potential. I think the Easter holiday has a lot of potential as well as far as stuff to do. I think the Midsummer one also has a lot of potential as far as expanding the holidays. And I think there's all kinds of cool ideas. I could come up with cool ideas. You guys could come up with cool ideas of stuff you could do to make these things more interesting. With Brewfest, it's all about games, right? So in Brewfest, you're like collecting tokens, and then you're like buying the stuff there. So you can add tons of rewards, right? And then you make the games more. You can make them more interactive where you're like actually competing against other players. There's already one like that. It's like an eating contest or something. You could add more contests. You could do all kinds of things. Ram racing contest, similar to dragon racing, right? A dragon racing contest too there. You could put a dragon racing contest outside of Ironforge. That would be pretty cool. And I'm not sure where the Orc one is or where the Horde one is. But they could come there too, right? The war is not currently going on. But yeah, like these things would be extremely cool to do. So for Brewfest, you have different types of games, different type of activities to earn more tokens that give more rewards. That's how I envision it being. I don't know if that's the case, but that's how I envision it being. With Hallows End, I think it's more of an opportunity to like go and do things. So like it's not just the Headless Horseman. Maybe he has other minions, other evil little spirits and ghosts and whatever, and you have to go fight them in different places around Azeroth that makes sense. Like Duskwood, for example, that makes a lot of sense. Fellwood would make a lot of sense in some ways of these places you could go and fight these things. There are events that spawn, and you fight them. You get rewards via drop chance. Probably would be more how I see this event going. And yeah, and you could still keep all the original stuff too. You could still queue for the Headless Horseman, go into Scarlet Monastery and do it. They could make it more into an actual dungeon. You know, there's tons of ideas, right? And only so many of them are going to get implemented. I think the Brewfest ideas that I'm having are a lot more simple than the Hollow's End, where I'm kind of like expanding it to this like Azeroth wide thing. But overall, I think this is a great direction. We talk about this a lot on the channel, so I just definitely had to make a video about it, about the holidays. I again, the negative would be that they're only mentioning 2 in their graphic. That doesn't mean that there is only 2, but that's the only 2 they mentioned. And I would love to see some of the smaller holidays, and of course the Darkmoon Fair, get revamped as well. There's not, like, for example, the Pilgrim's Bounty, there just isn't much to do for this one. Now, what do you really do for like a holiday that's themed around Thanksgiving? Like, what do you do? Go give thanks to people? Like, it's harder to kind of make a big activity to do around there, but I'm sure there's something you can come up with in some way. Again, I don't know. I don't have all the ideas off the top of my head, but yeah, I would just like to see even more done with this. I think this is a great step. I think these are 2 of the holidays I'd want to see done for sure. Like I said, I'd like to see the Christmas holiday done. I'd like to see, I think the Valentine's holiday is actually already pretty good. You could probably do a little bit more with it, but it's, again, how many ideas are you going to have for Valentine's Day? And then the Midsummer Fire Festival I always thought was good. The coins, the Know Your Elders or whatever, where you go get the coins, I don't even know what that is. That one has potential as well. There's some that just have more potential than others, in my opinion. I also think for the Halloween one, trick-or-treating is actually really, really fun thing for younger people who play the game, like kids, right? So if like a lot of people will play WoW, just have kids, you know, you're in your 30s, whatever, or maybe late 20s, you might be married, might have kids. And I know like my son plays, and he loves going and doing the trick-or-treating. So I think maybe making that a little bit more interactive, maybe updating some of the wands or whatever, making the wands work maybe as toys instead of being in your bags and it's a toy and it's only usable during Halloween or something, would be pretty cool. I think there's a lot of things you could do there. The magic broomstick's always a favorite of everybody when that's out too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what these things actually are. But I wanted to put this video out just to say that I'm very positive about this. This is good. These are 2 of the main holidays that I've called for, you know, having this happen. And I just want to see more of this, right? And of course, I hope these revamps, I hope these refreshes are good, right? That's the big thing. Like the content has to be good, but I would like to, if it is, I would like to see more of it. Would be how I would end this video. I want to see more of it, and I want it to be, you know, good and rewarding. So that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully, we can get more of this going. It's one of the big things I champion. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out so much. Other than that, everybody, have a good one.